So I'm just trying to save someone out there a headache. The previous owner of this garden used, I guess, woven landscape. I think it's woven landscape fabric, and when it breaks down, it leaves these little strands. It's this landscape fabric right here. As you can see, there's a large garden here, and it needs to be dealt with. I've already done a whole large piece, but this type right here is awful. It's great for blocking weeds and stuff, but when it breaks down, and it will eventually, everything, even plastic, which this is basically plastic, look how it starts breaking down in the ground. Over time, it takes years, but yeah, and you're gonna have to get that up. You see, there's a tiller over there. I'm not using it because these just get caught up in the tiller. If you want to eventually use a tiller, this fabric's a little better. This is a little different. It's like perforated. I think I'm not sure exactly, but it feels more like fabric. It feels more like a t-shirt. It does break down eventually, very shortly. I mean, it'll last a season. It's very short term. And then I got this other fabric over here that I used. It's like, well, I think it's like eco-friendly, very short term, like a season also. It's no different than this. I mean, it's a little less. I mean, you can see it's tearing, but it's biodegradable. But it's not any worse than the other one. I mean, this is the worst. This one right here is the worst. Yeah, it's great at blocking weeds for, quite a few years. But when it breaks down, you're stuck with a mess. I mean, there's rows and rows of this thing. And I'm having to rip this out by hand, and it's leaving these little things, these little plastic pieces everywhere. And it's getting caught up in my machines. I'm having to do this all by hand now, and finding these little pieces everywhere, all in the soil. Even on my shovel, when I dig, I'm finding little pieces in the soil. It sucks, So I'm just trying to save someone out there the headache if they're thinking about what type of fabric to use. I wouldn't use that kind if I were you, if you're thinking about it, but that's just me.